Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a reusable bag. The original pattern just had these really small handles, but I didn't like it because when the bag was really full, you couldn't really carry more than 1 or 2 bags at a time. So I actually had a dream, and my solution was to have one short handle and one long handle, because you can have this one over your shoulder, and then once your bag is full, you can put it through the other handle to keep your bag shut. So basically, it is the same for both. And then I've also found that seed stitch works the best for the strap to not curl in on itself and really hold its shape well. So for the longer strap method, I get some longer needles, usually about 30 to 40 inches or so, and cast on with my preferred method of cast on. You could do long tail, it's just really hard to guess exactly how much you need. So just cast on and keep going until your whole needle is full of stitches, and sort of straighten them out as you go. So once you've cast on enough, it'll be sort of twisty, but you just need to be pushing it all down so that it's all facing the same way. Usually I have it all on the inside. And then you can switch hands and start doing your knit purls around the edge. Since this is going to be the strap, it'll be all knit purl, and then the opposite for the above to make seed stitch. So joining it in the round, knit purl all the way around for the strap. Okay, so once you've done knit purl for about 1 inch, we can start casting off the strap and switching the bag to smaller needles. These are 16 inches long. So usually I leave 20 stitches of regular knitting, cast off for the first small handle, and then cast off the rest, leaving 10 stitches for the other half of the 20 on the other side. So knit 10. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then knit 2 more to start casting off. Okay, and then I usually cast off about 18 stitches. And then knit 20, and then cast off all the way to 10. Okay, so I cast off for this little handle, and then the next row I cast on. This is 20. I already cast off all of those, so now I'm going to cast on 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13, 17, 18. Okay, and then I'm going to join them in the round and knit for about 8 rows before doing the holes for the bag. Okay, so once you have finished your little bit of knitting, then you can start doing all of the stretchy holes. So the way to do that for the first row is you do a double yarn over and then knit 2 together. So you do that all the way around for one row, and then when you get to your stitch marker at the end of your round, you just knit a whole row. So every other row is double yarn over, knit two together, and every other row is just a knit. So you slip your stitch marker, and then you can just knit. Even though these are bigger holes, you can just knit them like regular stitches. So even though this is two, you can knit into the hole and slip them both off. Alright, so now I'm going to start decreasing my bag. The way that I determine that it's ready to decrease is I count all the holes down. Usually I do at least 25 holes or so, but it depends a little bit on the yarn that you use. Okay, so what you do is slip one of those off and then knit two together for this whole round. First row of decreasing. Okay, so after this knit two together step, the next step of decreasing is to do just one yarn over and another knit two together. So one yarn over, knit two together, one yarn over, knit two together all the way around. After completing your one yarn over, knit two together round, slip your stitch marker, and then you're slipping all those yarn overs off and just knitting the regular stitches for one round. Slipping those off and knitting all the plain stitches. And then for this next round, it's already getting a little tight, so I have my next smallest needles. I'm going to transition off of these and onto my even smaller needles. So we're going to do one yarn over and knit two together again for this round, but I'm going to be switching to my smaller needles. So just keep the side that you're going to be knitting and pull that one out a little bit more. So we're going to do a yarn over and then a knit two together onto the new smaller needles. So it's just tricky to slide them all down. Yarn over, knit two together, yarn over, knit two together until all of your stitches are onto this new needle. Yarn over, knit two together, and then this row is going to be the same as the previous row where we are just slipping the yarn overs and only knitting the knits. So slipping that, knitting this one, and now we're entirely on the much smaller needles. And we're just doing this until there are about a dozen or less stitches, and then we can tie off the bottom of the bag. Let's see. Oh, my stitch marker's there. Good. It gets a little bit hard at the end to squish them down, but that's okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So now I can show you how to finish this bad boy. So take off your stitch marker, cut maybe about a foot of yarn to work with for tying off. And then we have a sewing needle. It's dull, it's just for sewing in the ends of my knitting. And then we're going to, so this was the live side, we're going to screw around to the other side. We're going to go into each stitch and slip them off of that and onto the end yarn. For all of them, and then we're going to cinch it and tie it off. And your bag is done. If you, like me, have any other yarn on the inside that needs to be tied off, you just have to tie off all your ends and then you will be done. Let's see. Oh, still got 2 more stitches on there. Okay, so now they're all on the yarn and off of both of the needles. So you cinch it tight. And then you go in the center and tie it off on the inside, which is the same as when you're finishing a hat. So you just make a few knots after it's all nice and tight. And you're back. Ta-da!